Something is happening at your house right now, and I will not let you walk past it. Stay with my voice. Do not treat this like every other quiet hour that has come and gone. I am speaking about the place where you live, the walls that hold you, the door you close behind you at the end of a long day, the room where you have prayed so softly that no one else could have heard it. My attention rests on that place tonight, and not because of stone or wood or the roof over it, because of the life inside it, because of you. Hear me clearly. What you have been waiting for is not still traveling toward you. It has already come. It is standing near, nearer than the sound of your own breathing, and the only question left is whether you will know it when it speaks. I am telling you this plainly because I do not want you to miss it. You have been expecting something loud, something that would arrive with noise and force and leave you no room to doubt. That is not how I have chosen to move in your life. I am coming through a narrow opening, through a door you have stopped watching, through a moment so ordinary that you would have let it pass without a second thought. My beloved, that is why I am holding your attention now. There is a heaviness you have felt in your house lately, and you could not name it. There is also a strange stirring underneath it, like something waiting just out of sight. You told yourself it was tiredness. You told yourself it was your own mind playing tricks. It was neither. Something unseen has already begun to move around you, and what you sensed was the edge of it. I do not send you feelings without reason. Your house is not only a building, it is the place where your life gathers. Your rest is there. Your worry is there. Your prayers have soaked into it. What settles in your house settles in your spirit, and what is cleared from your house is cleared from your days. That is why I am dealing with it directly. Some things in that space were never meant to stay as long as they have. Declare your Amen if you believe I am speaking to you right now. Let me tell you what I have been doing while you slept. I have been separating. I have been deciding what belongs to you and what has only been living beside you. There is a difference, and you have not always been able to tell them apart. What is yours will remain. What is not yours is being asked to leave, and it will not be allowed to argue. You have carried a weight for so long that you stopped noticing its shape, worry that woke you at odd hours, a tightness in your chest when you thought about what was coming, a voice that told you not to hope too openly in case hope made a fool of you again. I am lifting those things off you one at a time. Some mornings you will feel lighter and not understand why. That is my hand. Do not question it. I know what these last seasons have cost you. You held on when everything around you gave you permission to let go. You kept praying after the words ran out. You sat in rooms where no one asked how you were, and you answered anyway, silently. To me, I heard all of it. Nothing you spoke into the dark disappeared, and now the answer stands at your door. My child, do not let doubt speak louder than my voice tonight. There are thoughts already forming in you that want to argue with what you are hearing. They will tell you nothing has changed. They will remind you of every time you got your hopes up and paid for it. Those thoughts are familiar, but familiar is not the same as true. Something has already shifted in your favor. It shifted before you felt it. You are not here by accident. You did not stumble into this moment by chance. I arranged for these words to reach you at the exact hour your heart was open enough to receive them, and not 1 minute before. That is how carefully I work with you. When I moved through Egypt, I told the people to mark their doorposts, not their fields, not their livestock, their houses. What passed over that night passed over homes, and every family that trusted me enough to mark the entrance woke to the morning of their freedom. I have always dealt with houses, I have always started at the door. I am at yours now. Understand this. I do not clear a space for nothing. When I remove, I am making room. When I take something out of your life, it is because I have already chosen what will stand in that place instead. You have watched things end and thought you were losing. You were not losing. You were being emptied so you could be filled with something that would not run out. There were paths that would have swallowed you whole. There were people who would have taken more from you than you could afford to give. There were plans you begged me for that. I quietly refused, and you called it silence. It was not silence. It was me standing between you and a door you would not have survived walking through. You thought you were being denied, you were being kept. Now you stand where you can finally receive what was always meant for you, not what you settled for, not what you talked yourself into. What was actually written for your life before you learned to lower your expectations. Listen closely, because I need you present for what comes next. The thing I am bringing will not announce itself the way you imagine. It may come through a conversation you almost did not have, through a decision that seems too small to matter, through a door that opens so quietly you could easily walk past it while thinking about something else. Pay attention to the small things. That is where I am hiding the answer. I am not distant from your life. I am not watching from a height, uninterested in the details. I am in the room with you. I am in the ordinary hours. And tonight I am speaking because what is unfolding around your house is too important for you to sleep through. Let me show you what I have been removing. There has been something living in your house that never paid rent. It came in quietly years ago, through a season you barely survived. It made itself at home in your thinking. It shaped how you spoke about yourself when you were alone. And because it arrived during a hard time, you assumed it was simply part of who you were. It was not. It was a squatter, and I am putting it out. You will feel its absence before you understand it. There will be a morning soon when you wake and something that always sat on your chest is not there. You will look for it out of habit. You will not find it. Do not go searching for what I have taken. Let it stay gone. I am also dealing with what has been draining your rest. Sleep has not been kind to you. You lie down tired and rise tired, and no amount of quiet seems to reach the bottom of it. That is not weakness in your body alone. Something has been feeding on your peace, and I am cutting off its supply. Peace is not a mood. Peace is ground. When your peace is disturbed, every decision becomes heavier than it needs to be. You second-guess what you already know. You delay what should be simple. You carry conversations for days that should have been set down within the hour. I am restoring the ground beneath you so that you can think clearly again. You were never meant to fight this battle from an unsteady place. There is also a boundary being drawn around your life right now. Things that once had free access to you will find the way closed. People who could reach into your peace whenever they pleased will find that their words no longer land the way they used to. This is not hardness. This is order. A house without a door is not a home. It is a road. I am giving you a door, and I am teaching you when to keep it shut. You may notice that certain people begin to drift away without any argument between you. Do not chase them. Not every departure is a wound. Some of it is simply what happens when a life starts moving in a direction that others were never called to walk. Let them go with kindness, and let the space they leave stay empty until I fill it. There are patterns in your life that have repeated so many times you began to expect them. The same kind of disappointment arriving in a different set of clothes. The same season of hope followed by the same quiet collapse. You started to believe that this was simply the shape of your life, that some people get smooth roads and you were given a circle. I am breaking the circle. You will notice this first in small ways. A situation that would normally repeat will simply not appear. A conflict that would normally flare will pass without catching fire. You will wait for the familiar ending, and it will not come. That is not luck. That is a cycle being cut at the root, and roots do not grow back once I have removed them. Understand something about what did not work out for you. There were doors you knocked on until your hands hurt. There were opportunities you were certain were yours, and they went to someone else. You took that personally. You wondered what was wrong with you that made me withhold. Nothing was wrong with you. Those doors led somewhere I would not send you. When Rahab hid my messengers, she was told to tie a scarlet cord in her window. The whole city fell. Her house stood, not because the walls were stronger, but because it had been marked, and what is marked by me is not swept away with everything else. Your house carries a mark you cannot see. You have lived through seasons that took other things down around you, and you are still standing. That was not endurance alone. That was covering. I have covered you longer than you know. There is something else I am clearing, and this one is harder because it lives inside you rather than around you. It is the belief that you must earn what I want to give. You have worked yourself thin trying to prove you deserve peace. You have kept a ledger in your mind of every failure, and you have used it against yourself whenever something good approached. Put the ledger down. I am not reading from it. My child, your worth was never a payment you were making toward some future kindness of mine. It was settled long before you were old enough to argue about it. Every time you have told yourself that you are too much or not enough, you were repeating something I never said. I am removing that voice from your house too. You may feel old memories rising in these days. Things you thought you had buried will surface at odd times without warning. In the middle of an ordinary afternoon, do not panic when it happens. I am not reopening wounds to hurt you. What is being brought to the surface is being brought out so it can leave. Nothing heals while it is hidden. Let it come up. Let it go. Do not fight the emptying. There will be a stillness after this clearing, and the stillness may unsettle you. You have lived so long with noise that quiet will feel like something is missing. It is not. Stillness is often the sound of a work being finished. When the room finally goes silent, that is not abandonment, that is completion. I do not fill a house while I am still cleaning it, and I am nearly done cleaning. You have been asking me for change for a long time. This is what change looks like at the beginning, not fireworks, not a sudden reversal that makes everyone who doubted you take notice. It looks like a load coming off. It looks like a habit losing its grip. It looks like a night where you finally sleep through, and you cannot explain what was different. That is the change. It has started. Declare, I receive it, if your heart is open to what I am doing. Now hear why the clearing mattered. I do not pour new provision into old disorder. I do not set something valuable down in a room that cannot hold it. Everything I have done in these last months was preparation for a delivery, and the delivery is close. There was a man named Obed-Edom. He did not ask for what came to his door. My presence was left at his house because no one else was willing to take it in. And for 3 months, everything he owned began to increase. His fields, his household, his name, he did nothing clever. He simply made room and did not treat what I placed with him as a burden. That is the whole lesson. Make room and do not resent what I set down. Your house is being made ready for something that will not be temporary. You have received things before that came and left quickly, and it taught you not to hold anything too tightly. I understand why you learned that, but this is not the same. What I am placing in your life has been built on ground that will hold weight. Lasting things take longer to build. That is the only reason for the wait. You have wondered why certain seasons took so long, why prayers you prayed years ago are only now beginning to move. It was never that I was slow to hear you. It was that I refused to hand you something that would break the moment it entered your hands. I would rather you wait for what stays than receive quickly what leaves. Everything I have delayed, I have been strengthening. There is a stage between preparing and receiving, and you are standing in it right now. It is the stage where nothing looks different, but everything has already changed. The work is done in the unseen and has not yet surfaced. This is where most people give up, because their eyes tell them nothing has happened. Your eyes are the last to know. Do not let them lead you. There is something coming into your house that will require your trust before it arrives. Not after. Trust that begins after the proof is not trust at all. It is arithmetic. What I am asking of you is older and simpler than that. I am asking you to act on what you cannot yet see. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. When Elijah came to the widow at Zarephath, she had enough flour for one final meal, and nothing after it. He asked her for bread first, not from her abundance, from the last of what she had. She could have counted what remained and decided it was too little to share. Instead, she made room in her hands, and the jar did not run dry through the whole famine. That jar was not filled once. It refilled every single day, quietly, without ceremony, for as long as it was needed. I have never asked anyone to give from what they did not need. That would prove nothing. Understand what I am really doing in your house. I am not simply improving your circumstances. I am changing what you are able to hold. A larger life requires a larger frame, and the frame is built through what you release, not through what you grip. Every time you have held something too tightly, it stopped moving. There is a kind of fear that disguises itself as wisdom. It counts and recounts and calls itself careful. It tells you to wait until things are certain before you move. But certainty is not the ground I build on. If you wait for the ground to be visible before stepping, you will stand in the same place for the rest of your life. I am not asking you to be reckless. I am asking you to be free. Something has been sitting in your life that you were meant to release, and you have known it for a while now. It might be a plan you have outgrown, a grudge you have fed longer than it deserves, a version of yourself you keep returning to because at least it is familiar. Whatever it is standing in the doorway of what I am delivering. Move it. The door only opens one way. My beloved, I am not testing you to see if you will fail. I already know what is in you. I am giving you the chance to feel the strength you have gained, because strength that is never used feels like nothing at all. You are far stronger than the person who first began praying about this situation. You simply have not been given a reason to see it yet. You are about to be given that reason. There will be a moment soon when you are asked to act before the outcome is clear. It may look like a small choice. A word you decide to speak, a hand you decide to extend, a step you take towards something that has no guarantee attached to it. That moment carries far more weight than its size suggests. Do not talk yourself out of it. That moment is the hinge. I have set things in motion around you that are already in progress. There are conversations happening about you in rooms you have never entered. There are people who will matter to your future who do not know your name yet. There are arrangements being made that you could not organize on your own, no matter how hard you worked. Some of what is coming to you will arrive through people you have not met. Your part is not to build all of it. Your part is to keep the house ready and the door unlocked. To stay open when it would be easier to close. To keep your heart soft in a season when hardness would feel safer. Softness is not weakness. In your life, it has always been the doorway. Now I want to tell you how it will come, so you do not miss it. Naaman was a commander. He arrived at the prophet's door with horses and treasure, expecting a performance worthy of his standing. He was told to wash in a muddy river 7 times. He was insulted. He nearly rode home, carrying his sickness with him, because the answer was too plain to respect. His servants had to reason with him. If you had been asked to do something great, you would have done it. Do not let the smallness of my answer offend you. You have prayed with a certain picture in your mind. You imagined the shape of the rescue. You decided which door it would come through, and you have been standing near that door so long that you have stopped watching the others. I am telling you now that I am not coming through the one you are watching. Turn around. Look at what is ordinary when Elijah stood on the mountain waiting for me. There was a great wind that tore the rocks apart. I was not in the wind, there was an earthquake. I was not in the earthquake. There was fire. I was not in the fire. And then there was a low, quiet sound, barely more than a whisper, and he covered his face because he knew. I am rarely in the noise. I am almost always in the whisper. This is why I asked you to pay attention to small things. The blessing I am sending you may arrive dressed as an inconvenience, a change of plans, a delay that puts you in a place you did not intend to be, standing next to someone you were never going to meet. You will be irritated for a moment. Then you will understand. Nothing in your life is random anymore, not since I began this work. The widow who came to Elisha owed a debt she could not pay, and men were coming to take everything she had left. He asked her one question, "What do you have in your house?" She said nothing at all except a little oil. That little oil filled every empty vessel she could gather, and the borrowing of empty jars from her neighbors was the whole of her part in the miracle. She was not asked to produce the oil. She was asked to bring the emptiness. Bring me your empty places, that is what I can work with. You have spent a long time apologizing for what you lack. You have counted what you do not have so often that you can recite the list without effort. But your lack is not an obstacle to me, it is the container. The wider the empty space, the more room there is for what I intend to pour. Stop hiding your empty rooms from me. I am not embarrassed by them. There is a change already taking place in how you see. Things that used to confuse you have started to make a strange kind of sense. Situations you could not read a year ago are becoming clear. This is not because you have become more clever. It is because I am giving you sight for the road ahead, and sight always comes just before it is needed. I will not show you the whole path. I never have. But the next step is becoming visible. Take it. That is all I am asking for. You may notice something else beginning to happen. People are responding to you differently. There is more kindness where there used to be indifference. Doors that were guarded seem to open with less resistance. You did not do anything to earn this. I am moving in the hearts of others on your behalf, and most of them will never know why they soften toward you. I work in people you will never think to thank. My precious one, There is something rising in you that you have not named yet. It is a steadiness, a calm that stays even when the day goes badly. You will catch yourself handling something that would have undone you last year, and you will handle it without shaking. Do not walk past that. That is the evidence you have been asking me for. You wanted a sign. I built the sign into you. Listen carefully now, because this part matters. The thing that is coming will feel right rather than look right. It may not have the appearance you expected. It may not impress anyone you were hoping to impress. But when it arrives, something in your spirit will settle, and you will know it the way you know your own name. Trust the settling. That is my confirmation, and it does not lie. There will also be things that look right but feel wrong, and you must be just as willing to refuse those. Not everything that arrives at your door was sent by me. Some of it comes to test whether you will accept a substitute out of impatience. You have done that before. You will not need to do it again. You can tell the difference now. That discernment is new, and it is mine. Do not measure your life against anyone else's. What I am doing with you is fitted to you specifically. The timing, the shape, the size of it. All of it was made for the life you actually have, not for the one you compare yourself to. When you look sideways, you lose the thread of your own story. Look forward. That is the only direction your answer is coming from. I know there is a part of you that is bracing. You have been disappointed enough times that hope now feels like a risk you cannot afford. So you hold back a little even now, even while you listen. You keep one hand on the exit. I am not asking you to be certain. I am asking you to stop bracing. Nothing is going to be snatched from you this time. What I establish, I defend. You will not have to spend the next season waiting for it to fall apart, wondering when the other thing will happen. That fear belonged to a version of your life that I have already brought to an end. Let your shoulders come down. You are safe here. There is a choice in front of you, and I want you to see it clearly before it arrives. 2 roads. One of them is familiar. It has your footprints all over it. You know exactly what it costs, how it feels, where it ends. It is not a good road, but it is a known one, and knowing has its own comfort. The other road you have never walked. That is its only fault. Fear will make the first road sound reasonable. It always does. It will call itself patience. It will tell you to wait a little longer, to gather more information to be sure, and you will nod because it sounds wise. And you will stay exactly where you are for another year. Do not confuse hesitation with discernment. They wear the same coat. I am not sending you into the unknown alone. I am sending you into something I have already walked through and prepared. The only thing unknown about it is that you have not seen it yet, and that is not the same as danger. 10 men came back from surveying a land I had already given away. 10 of them talked about the size of the people living there. 2 of them talked about the size of the fruit. Both reports were accurate. Only one of them was true, and a whole generation stayed in the wilderness because they believed the accurate report. Instead of the true one, be careful whose report you agree with about your own life. There are voices around you that will not understand this season. Some of them love you. They will worry out loud. They will remind you of what happened last time, not to hurt you, but because they remember your pain and cannot bear to watch it again. Receive their care. Do not receive their limits. You do not need permission from people who are not going where you are going. There is also a voice inside you that has been arguing with me since this began. It says, you are too old for this, too tired, that your window is closed and the good things go to other people now. I want you to hear how that voice speaks. It never accuses me directly. It only accuses you. That is how you can tell it is not mine. Sarah laughed when I told her what was coming, because she had already done the arithmetic on her own body. Moses argued with me about his mouth. Gideon asked me to prove myself twice, and then asked once more. I did not withdraw the calling from any of them. I let them argue, and then I used them anyway. Your doubt has never disqualified you. It only delays you. My child, we have walked a long road together, longer than you sometimes remember. There were stretches of it where you spoke to me constantly, and stretches where you barely spoke at all. I did not walk away during the quiet parts. I have never needed your words in order to stay near you. I stayed through all of it. I stayed. Now I am asking for something specific. Not perfect faith, not certainty, just a step. One step taken in the direction of what I have shown you before you have any evidence that it will hold. That single step is the difference between a life that changes and a life that only talks about changing. Say yes out loud if you are ready to take that step. Understand what happens when you move. The Jordan did not part while the people stood on the bank discussing it. The priests carrying the ark had to put their feet into the water first, while it was still running high, and only then did it stand back. The way opened under their feet, not before them. I move when you move. That has always been the order. I know this is not how you would design it. You would prefer the water to part first, so you could see the dry ground before committing. But faith that requires a guarantee is just planning with religious language attached. What I am building in you cannot be built that way. Step in. The water knows my voice. There is something you will feel just before the moment comes. A pull. A knowing that sits somewhere below your thinking, that does not argue and does not explain itself. It will simply be there, steady, pointing in a direction. You have felt it before and talked yourself out of it. Do not talk yourself out of it this time. That knowing is not your imagination, and it is not your nerves. It is how I speak to a heart that has learned to listen. Your ability to hear it has grown, though you have not been keeping track. What used to take you weeks to recognize now takes you an afternoon. You are becoming someone who can be led. That is no small thing, and I want you to notice how you are handling the waiting itself. There was a time when delay would have crushed you. You would have taken it as a verdict on your worth. Now you can sit inside a slow season without falling apart in it. You may not call that progress. I do. The person you were 3 years ago could not carry what you are carrying today. That growth was not accidental. Every difficult stretch shaped something specific in you, and I was watching what it built. Not only what it cost. I have never enjoyed your pain. I have never sent suffering as a lesson, but I have never wasted what you walked through either. Nothing you have lived through is going to be thrown away. When you finally stand in what is coming, you will understand why certain things had to happen in the order they did. Not all of it will be explained. Some questions I will keep, but enough will make sense that you will be able to set the rest down. You will not need every answer once you are standing in the outcome. So make your choice with your eyes open. I will not force it. I have never forced anything from you. Not once in all these years. I speak. I open the door, and I wait to see what you will do with it. The door is open now. Walk through. Now, let me speak to you about restoration, because you have misunderstood what I mean by it. You think restoration means going back, recovering what was taken, returning to the year before everything went wrong, as though the goal were to undo the damage and stand where you once stood. That is not what I do. I do not rebuild the old house. I build a better one on the same ground. There are things in your life you wrote off as finished. You made peace with their loss, or you told yourself you did. You stopped praying about them because praying about them hurt more than accepting them. I want you to know that I did not close the file when you did. What you called permanent, I called paused. I am touching places you stopped bringing to me. Areas you decided were simply the cost of living a real life. Some of what returns will not look like what left, and that will confuse you at first. Do not measure the new thing against the memory of the old one. The old one was smaller than you remember. Restoration in my hands always comes back larger than what was lost. The Shunammite woman built a small room on her roof for a prophet who passed through. Just a bed, a table, a stool, a lamp. She asked for nothing. Years later, when famine drove her from her land and everything she owned was taken, she came to appeal to the king, and she arrived at the exact hour someone was telling him her story. He restored her house, her land, and every year of income she had lost while she was gone. She was not given back what she had. She was given back the years as well. I keep a count of time, not only of what was taken from you, but of what those seasons cost you in hours you cannot get back. And I have my own way of returning time to a life. It does not always come as more years. Sometimes it comes as speed, where a thing that should have taken a decade arrives in a season. Do not be shocked when things begin to move quickly. You have earned the acceleration. Your peace is the first thing being restored, and it is the foundation for everything else. Not the peace that depends on a quiet week. The other kind, the sort that holds when the week is loud. You will notice it in the way you wake, in the way you handle news that would have flattened you. It will not arrive all at once. It will settle in layers. Peace that settles in layers does not lift easily. A house built on rock and a house built on sand can look identical in fair weather. The difference is invisible until the storm comes. I am not promising you a life without weather. I am telling you what is underneath you has been changed, and the next storm will find something it cannot move. You will discover this the hard way, and you will be glad. My beloved, there is a quiet ownership growing in you over the space you live in. Your house is beginning to feel like yours in a way it has not before. Not because anything about it has changed, but because you have. It is becoming a place that gives back to you rather than takes from you. You should feel restored when you walk through that door. That is what a home is for. There is also something that will start to grow out of that space and reach beyond it. What I establish in you does not stay contained. It moves into your work, into your conversations, into the lives of those you love and the ones you carry in prayer without telling anyone. You are becoming a source of steadiness for people who have none. Do not be surprised when others start bringing their weight to you. They will not always know why they chose you. They will simply notice that you are not frantic, and something in them will want to sit near that. This is part of what I am building. A house that has been made whole becomes shelter for someone else. What I pour into you was never meant to stop with you. There will be moments in this new season that test you in small ways. Not great trials. Ordinary irritations that measure whether the change is real. Someone will speak to you the way they always have, and you will notice that it does not reach you. A situation will repeat, and your response will not. Those small moments are how you will learn what I have done. You may also find that your desires themselves are shifting. Things you once wanted badly have quietly lost their pull. New things are taking their place, and you did not decide any of it. That is me reshaping what you reach for, so that your wanting and your purpose finally point in the same direction. When your desires change, your direction changes without any struggle at all. Do not grieve the old wants. They belong to a person who is surviving. You are not surviving anymore. There is a confidence forming in you that has nothing to do with pride. Pride needs an audience. This does not. It is the settled quiet of someone who has stopped needing to be told they are on the right road, because they can feel the ground under their feet. You will make decisions faster now. Trust that speed. It is not carelessness, it is clarity. And when something does not belong in your life, you will know it early rather than late. That has been the expensive lesson of your past. Learning too slowly, staying too long, giving too much to what was never going to give back. That season of costly lessons is finished. You will not pay that price again. There was a man who climbed a tree because he was too short to see over the crowd. He had no reason to expect anything. He was disliked, and he had earned most of it, and he only wanted a look at someone passing through his town. He was called down by name, and the words spoken over him that day were these: "Today, salvation has come to this house, not to the temple, not to the crowd, to his house." That is how I have always worked, and it is what I am doing with yours. I come to addresses. I come to specific doors, and I have never once needed a person to be impressive before I would enter. You do not have to become someone else first. I am coming to the one you already are. Now hear what I ask of you going forward, because it is not much. Stay awake. That is nearly all of it. Do not fall back asleep in your own life. The greatest risk in front of you is not failure. It is drifting, letting the days blur together until you stop noticing what I am doing in them. Notice that is your part. I will handle the rest. There will be mornings when none of this feels true, when the house is quiet and nothing has visibly changed, and the words you are hearing now seem far away. On those mornings, do not go looking for the feeling. Go back to what you know. Feelings arrive late and leave early. What I have spoken does not move. Build on what I said, not on how you feel about it today. There will also be days when the evidence is undeniable, when something happens that could only have come from me, and you will want to tell everyone. Tell whoever you like, but keep some of it for yourself. Not everything I give you needs to be explained to be real. Some things I do in your life are only for you and me, my child. I want to say something about the years behind you. You have carried a quiet suspicion that you wasted them, that you were slow, that you should have known better, that other people were building something while you were only holding on. Set that down. Holding on was not nothing. There were seasons where staying was the whole victory. You did not waste the time, you spent it, and I know exactly what it bought. The ones you love are also touched by what is happening in your house. Not because they have done anything, but because you are the door, and what comes through you does not stop at you. Peace in your life becomes peace in theirs. Steadiness in you becomes ground they can stand on. You have been praying for them for a long time. This is part of how I am answering. There will be a moment not far from now when you look around at your own life and realize that the thing you were begging for has already been happening for a while. You will not be able to say exactly when it began. That is how I do most of my work, quietly underneath. Until one day the shape of it is unmistakable, you will look back at this hour and know this was where it turned. So here is what I am asking of you tonight. Go into your house differently. Look at the rooms as though something has been prepared in them, because it has speak in there like someone who has been heard. Because you have been, and when you close the door behind you, close it knowing that what is inside is guarded. Nothing gets in past me, not one thing. I am not going to promise you an easy road. I have never promised that to anyone, and you would not believe me if I did. What I am promising is that you will not walk it uncovered, and you will not walk it without provision, and you will not walk it alone. I have been with you in the years that had no name. I am not leaving now that the good part is starting. Do not measure the size of this against what anyone else has received. What is coming to you is fitted to you. It matches your life, your capacity, your calling. Something larger would have crushed you, and something smaller would have insulted the work I have done in you. This is the right size. Take it without apologizing for it. And when it comes, receive it fully. Do not hold it at arm's length, waiting to see if it is a trick. Do not shrink it to protect yourself from disappointment. You have done that with every good thing that has come near you for years, and I am asking you to stop. Open your hands. Take what I am handing you. The waiting part of your life is closing, not because you finally did something right, but because the season has turned, and I am the one who turns seasons. What was prepared has been finished. What was cleared has been filled. What was marked has been kept. Your house is ready, and so are you. You have spent years asking me to move. I have moved. The asking part is over, and the living part begins tonight, in the room where you are standing. Now go and live like someone who believes what they have just heard. Declare it is done if you are ready to walk into it. You do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. If you desire to deepen your connection, join Archangel Michael's Inner Circle immediately through the exclusive link in the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.